Hello, everybody. This is Swati live from Los Angeles. It's morning time, August 24th, Pacific Standard Time. So you will know what time it is wherever you are right now. We have talked about self compassion, the first step towards self compassion, as acceptance, developing, cultivating the attitude of acceptance. And then we also said yesterday, I said that self compassion was accepting yourself, accepting the person that is in the middle of the painful experience or something uncomfortable. Now, I'm going to go a little bit further, and today I'm going to talk about a researcher who is a key figure in the area of self compassion. Her name is Dr. Kristen Neff. She is a professor in UT Austin, and she has done extensive research in the area of self-compassion. And Chris Germer, who is a psychologist, and Kristen Neff, who is a professor, both of them, they have collaborated together. They have both written their own books on self-compassion, but by collaborating together, they also offer workshops in self-compassion. So those of you who may want to cultivate more self-compassion, you can do that by taking these workshops. The workshops are also sometimes offered by students who are trained under Kristen and Chris. Before that, I would like to tell you what Kristen has found and how she defines self-compassion. Her definition of self-compassion is really comprehensive. She says that self-compassion has three different elements. Element number one is to be kind and understanding towards yourself, which is what we would interpret from compassion. The second aspect is common humanity. When you make a mistake or when you're feeling unhappy, sometimes we tend to think that it's only me or I'm the only one who has made these kinds of mistakes, or I'm the only one who is always insulted by whoever it is. But realizing that it's common humanity would mean that I'm not the only one. This has happened before, it is happening now to others, and it will happen to others in the future. So no matter what your experience is, in most cases, even if it is a most severe experience, there is a common humanity. Other people have experienced it too. And then the third thing is mindfulness. That's the third component of self-compassion. In this case, mindfulness is not to suppress, not to overexpress, but to simply observe your feelings, to be okay with feelings and not to actually deny them or resist them, like we said yesterday. Now, why would you practice self-compassion? And what does self-compassion, what do you think are probably question marks about self-compassion? So why do we practice self-compassion? First of all, research shows, Kristen Neff's research shows that self-compassion is a better motivator than self-criticism or a need for superiority. Those of you who have seen Dr. Raj's videos and those of you who have read his blogs, he has a really nice blog about how feeling superior, or that being the reason for why you want to reach excellence, is not really the best motivator. In fact, what you want to, so you want to replace it with something healthier. And Kristen Neff's research shows that self-compassion, to hold yourself in a kinder light, and then to want to get better for in whatever you are, to collect the 10,000 hours, becomes easier if you do it with self-compassion, if you learn to, in some sense, forgive yourself for whatever it is that didn't work out for you. You know, some people are perfectionists. Some people think that in order to be perfectionist, most of the time the way they do it is by criticizing themselves or at the same time criticizing others. It's hard to be around perfectionists, and it is hard to be a perfectionist. So if you want to do something perfect, it's something that's almost expected from us. Whatever we do, we want to be above average. But obviously, how can everybody be above average? And as soon as we feel that we did not do a good job, if we are self-critical, we tend to get paralyzed. I can tell you based on my own experience. There was a time when I was very afraid of how other people were going to judge me because always, I always wanted to improve myself. And as a result, what I used was, because of my own condition, what I used was always be, like self-critical or look for, ways in which I can improve myself. As a result, it was very hard for me to take criticism from others. But slowly, as I changed, especially with my mindfulness training, and especially with this notion of self-compassion, which is essential part of mindfulness training, I found myself okay with other people's criticism. Especially if you want to really work on something and get better at something, isn't it better to be okay with criticism, to take it and then to build on that? But at the same time, if you're doing it because if you want to be superior, then that doesn't work either. That joy does not last for too long. So I did this one presentation, and when I did the presentation, I did not get a really good feedback. So in the past, I would have really felt bad. I would have justified myself, or I would have blamed it on somebody else, or I would have said, this is not for me, I need to look for something else. But because of thinking that it's okay, I actually wanted to find out what was it that I could better in my presentation. So I talked to a couple of people in the audience. I had recorded the presentation. I asked someone else who saw the recording. I asked them to see the recording and to give me suggestions, and I worked on it. I could do that because of the self-compassion or because of accepting, yeah, okay, sometimes things don't work out. But that doesn't mean that I'm bad or I can't do it. If I really want to do it, then it's okay to go ahead and use whatever skills I have. The next time when I did the presentation, I got a lot of really great validations. So things changed. And self-compassion can help you in doing that. Does self-compassion mean self-indulgence? It's okay to get massage and just lie down and not to do anything. If you're okay with it, of course, fine. But is that what it means? No, it doesn't mean that. If, let's say, if it was your friend or if it was your child, what would you want from them? Not by criticizing them, but by actually motivating them. What would you do? So self-compassion is like that. Self-compassion should help you to do what you want to do. It doesn't mean you just sit around and languish and be okay with it. So that is about self-compassion. Now I'm going to show you Kristen Neff's website. I'm going to share it with you. I hope I have the right website here to share. Oh, that's not what it is. Just give me a minute and I'll get to the right one. Okay. Now this one is Kristen Neff, self-compassion. Okay. So definition of self-compassion, you can look at that. You can look at the three things she has. But most interestingly, Kristen has a self-compassion scale. So if you really want to see if how self-compassionate you are and what kinds of things you would like to pay attention to, you can look at her self-compassion scale. And if you just Google self-compassion scale, Kristen Neff, you see her name, Kristen Neff, Dr. Kristen Neff. Test how self-compassionate you are. That's the name of the link. But just Google self-compassion, Kristen Neff. Self-compassion scale, Kristen Neff. And how self-compassionate you are. And it also tells you, once you actually score yourself, how to find the final score and what it means. So this scale is score interpretations, tells you that also. So I am going to give you this homework of going, after we are done going home, or rather staying back at home, and actually doing this self-compassion scale and see how self-compassionate you are. Oh, thank you. I don't have my headset. I hope you could hear me. Oh my God. Um, I'm so sorry. Was it possible to hear me? Most importantly, just do Kristen Neff's self-compassion scale. Google Kristen Neff self-compassion scale, and whatever you get, please find out how self-compassionate you are. That's the main thing that I have said. I think most of you probably could hear me, not very well, but at least to a certain degree. I'm really sorry. It's not a good experience when the headsets are not on. Sandy has a question. Let me respond to that. When we say we accept ourselves, do we really do that? It may be possible while we meditate, but be back to reality. Is it not true that we need to make some judgments with reference to others or to our prevailing circumstances? Answer may be meditate lifelong. Um, okay, Sandy, first of all, when you said meditating lifelong, not a bad idea. Meditation, I hope, becomes activity that you want to do at all times, one way or the other. Um, but to only through meditation, Sandy, that's because right now this concept of self-compassion may not be a natural one. It doesn't mean you don't judge yourself or others. That's very hard for us to do. But I found a really good answer to this idea of how can we not judge others? Yes, we will judge others and we may judge ourselves too, but not to take it too seriously, not to get married to it or to take yourself so seriously that every judgment you make is real and you need to act upon it. But just kind of, that's my judgment. Let me think about it, sort of attitude. Be kind and understanding of yourself. And if that's not happening, yes, during the meditation it happens, and then after you are done, you may feel like, oh, it's back to reality. No, when you meditate and when you think about what I'm saying, it is going to change for you overall. Your way of looking at the world and at yourself will change as you meditate. And it doesn't take lifelong meditations, it will change even within a few weeks. Or this week, keep doing self compassion meditations with me. Your attitude will change. I'm going to get rid of the bottom and then I want to tell you something important. Okay, so the way we generally react to our judgments is the following: over criticism, expectations of perfection to the degree that it makes us miserable and makes people around us miserable, or need for superiority. These are the three ways in which we drive ourselves. And all these three ways, yes, they will work, but they also create misery. They create not always a long lasting joy. And the question is that the best motivator? Or if you can drive yourself by using self-compassion. Think about the time when you think you made a stupid mistake. You were bad or you made a mistake and you feel humiliated or you feel really bad about it. Think about such a time and just hold it, write it down, and we'll talk about it next time. Yeah, Chris is saying it's better with the mic. Alessandro said I could hear you. Thank you. And Eugenia, it was it was possible to hear, it will be better with microphone placed. So basically the comments are about it was okay not to have my microphone, but of course it is better. Um, so let's do a self-compassion meditation first. And I guess I am sorry about not having the mics on, but I suppose I could have a self-compassionate attitude towards forgetting occasionally to put my mic on. Um, okay, so let's close our eyes. And take a few deep breaths. And now pay attention to the breath for a little bit. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring yourself here and now, at this moment. And now place your hand on top of your heart area on your chest. And see how the touch of your hand feels like on your heart. A warm feeling. And notice the slight rising and falling of the chest. And say to yourself in your mind, soft and gentle, soft and gentle. soft and gentle, soft and gentle. As you say this to yourself, see if anything changes. If you do feel soft and gentle, is it possible to allow soft and gentle feelings to actually be there? In front of your mind's eyes, bring the image of you when you were a baby or a toddler. And give yourself a hug. And soft and gentle. Hold yourself and soft and gentle. Do it as if you're watching a slow motion movie, slowly, watching each and every moment. Give this baby or the toddler a hug, hugging yourself, soft and gentle feelings. Soft and gentle, soft and gentle. May I be happy. May I experience peace. May I be at ease. May I be happy. May I experience peace. May I be at ease. Soft and gently, soft and gently. And now come back to the breath again and notice your own breath, how the body is receiving the breath. Breathing in and breathing. And say the line 3 times. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Okay, I don't see any new question. We have just a few minutes left. I'm going to ask you guys to do 2 things. I feel like I already know a lot of you personally because I see some of you guys have been there all along. Some may be new, but even the new people, I would like to get to know you. So I'm going to suggest 2 things. One is please try to do Dr. Neff's self-compassion scale and send me the results. Email me the results. If you're not able to do that for whatever reason, time or whatever, it's okay. Think about the second thing. I would like you to do both or one of these 2 things. Second thing is to think about a time in your life or now where you have been overly critical, some incident that has happened that makes you feel either humiliated or shameful, or you just think that you were really bad and you have been overly self-critical, something like that. So if you can think about this kind of an event, you don't have to write the details to me, but just think about it and write something like 1 or 2 lines to me. The reason I'm asking you to write it to me is to just make a note of it in your own head. And I will respond to these things next time when I actually start the session. I would like to respond to these things. I will not use your name or the specific incident. I'll respond to it in a way that it will make sense to you. So please do that, because I can tell you, I can assure you that self-compassion is really going to be helpful to you to motivate yourself in doing what you really want to do, and stop bugging yourself so much in case if you are. So with that, I think it is time for us to say bye, and we'll continue our discussion on self-compassion next time. So do write to me. For those of you who don't know, my email address is tomeditatetogether@gmail.com. Number 2, meditatetogether@gmail.com. Those of you who want to download the app to meditate, there is a self-compassion meditation by Chris Germer. So if you go to by yourself option, 20 minutes by yourself, you will get a list and choose Chris Germer and his self-compassion meditation and try to practice self-compassion. Bye for now. I'll see you all tomorrow.